The Radio City Rockettes spend 6 weeks perfecting their precision.
We work 6 days a week, 6 hours a day. The rehearsals are intense. We are incredible athletes.
There's so much tradition that's attached to the show. While we're doing the million and one things, we're also keeping an eye out to make sure we're in line with one another.
We start planning for the Christmas Spectacular while the Christmas Spectacular is happening the next year.
The synchronicity of the Rockettes really speaks to us.
There are two things that are timeless with the Rockettes: the kick lineup, everybody waits for it, and also the March of the Wooden Soldiers. It's a sisterhood.
And a lot of our arms in those hip isolations are completely locked out, so there should be energy in your arms, but there will be a little bit of movement. Don't let them get completely loose, but just so that we keep the vibe rather than doing a hip and shoulder, keeping your elbows completely locked out, tension in your hands, yeah? 5, 6, 7, 8.
The Rockettes stand for strong women. Strong, athletic, trailblazing women. They have for 100 years and will for 100 more. These women, from the beginning, left their hometowns, came to New York City. Back when the Rockettes started, they lived together at Radio City Music Hall in dormitories and different places. So they were these trailblazing women who were doing something brand new, and they created a sisterhood because they were all in it together, and they still are. We often say, once a Rockette, always a Rockette. And we also say, we're better together. So there's never an individual, it's always the sisterhood and together.
Good. Some of you, when you turn around, it doesn't feel joyous. It feels a little scary, right? It's a little intense. So I think I love the focus when you snap your head around, but it still has to be playful because it's still a Christmas show, right? So it can't be so serious. I am dancing, right? Turn around with that intent, but with a joyful thought in your brain, okay? I grew up in Iowa dancing. I was in a ballet company there, but I always watched the Macy's Day Parade and always saw the Rockettes. And as I got taller and got even taller in my pointe shoes, I thought, wonder if this is something I could ever do. So it's crazy. I'm sitting here at this beautiful lobby and realizing many, many moons ago, fresh off the plane from Iowa, my first trip to New York, I came to Radio City Music Hall. And here I am sitting in the lobby and a place that I've called home for 38 years. It's just amazing. I've made lifelong friends here. People I danced with, I'm still friends with. You kind of grow up here, when you are here, you get married, you may start a family, you may do other jobs, people may come and go, but you remain in contact with those people.
12 of us, former Rockettes, and 12 current Rockettes. First time we walked out on stage, the curtain was down. That was a thrill because I hadn't been on that stage in 30 years. And it was like all these memories came flooding back. And then they raised the curtain up, and there they were. And then they turned around, and we were all hugging each other, and telling stories and all that stuff. And just to see the audience again I just started crying when that went up. Well, I was a Rockette. That's a big part of who I am. A very big part. I auditioned when I was 16. And I auditioned with my dance class that I, grew up with. And there was, from Jersey, and there were 6 or 7 of us that went in. And we all got separated during the day. And so we all met at the end of the day to take the bus back. I did my audition, and I had passed. And I went down to the green room, and I asked everybody, how'd everybody do? I figured they all passed because I grew up with these girls. Nobody did, except me. And so I told them, I said, oh yeah, no, not me either. And all the way home on the bus, I'm like, oh my God, I must be good. I must be good. I'm a Rockette.
One of my favorite memories of the Rockettes was when I actually worked for NBC for a short time. I was a sort of correspondent, like a special correspondent, and I did a story about the Rockettes, and I got to like kick in a line with them, and it was one of the great things of my entire life. It was when they were having their 85th anniversary or 80th anniversary, so that was a minute ago, but I will never forget like being backstage with the Rockettes and then kicking with the Rockettes. It was one of the most fabulous things ever. Happy 100th anniversary, Rockettes.
100 Years of Rockettes is sponsored by MSG Entertainment. See the Rockettes in the Christmas Spectacular at Radio City Music Hall through January 5th, 2026. Get tickets at rockettes.com.
So Christmas really starts for me, the second I get one Christmas show done, I'm starting on the next Christmas show. And it really happens while I'm watching this Christmas show. I sit in the house often and just hear audience responses and listen to see what works and what doesn't work. If you look at the stage, it's a giant piece of graph paper. So there is a number every 2 feet. There is a line, either a dash, a dot line, or a solid line every 2 feet on that stage. And every step is accounted for. It's because we have to fit 36 in that stage, and the show has to look as good from the third mezz as it does from the orchestra.
Use your periphery to make sure that you're in the same line as your neighbors. So we know where we are spatially, but in addition to that, while we're doing the 1,000,001 things, we're also keeping an eye out to make sure we're in line with one another. So there are several moments where I'm not quite sure where things fall. I came to New York and I was in the line here for several years, and then I was promoted while I was in the line to the assistant dance captain, so I sort of gained some elevated responsibilities. Then I became the assistant choreographer and dance captain for the company, where I now teach the show. I also became a swing, so now I don't necessarily perform in every show, but I get to jump in and perform as needed, or if I have family in the audience. I think a big part of our job is also recognizing and motivating the cast. So, you know, I was in the line for a bunch of years, 1,000,001 years, I'd say. You know, I understand the fatigue that comes into it, and it's like, how do you find the motivation through that? You know, I like to remind the cast of when I'm standing in the back of the house watching the show, like some of the things that I'll hear the audience say. So I like to remind them of the true impact that they actually are having on audience after audience after audience. So it's not just, okay, let me go there and do a bunch of dance steps. It's more than that. This show means so much to so many people, and I think such a big part of being a dance captain is reminding and letting the cast know how appreciated they are.
The rehearsal process for the Rockettes, it's very rigorous, and we rehearse for 6 weeks, 6 days a week for 6 hours a day, and we are athletes through and through. Putting this show together is a process, and we feel very honored to be a part of it. We perform up to 4 shows a day, so the show schedule is also very rigorous, but luckily they really prepare you for it. That rehearsal process gets you ready, so by the time that the shows come along, you're ready and you're excited, and then you really get into the Christmas season. You're just riding that wave and you're living that dream.
And I will say we do train like athletes because we are athletes. So not only are we dancing, we're also fueling our bodies. We have our athletic training team. A lot of us do ice baths throughout the day at the end of the day. So it's a very long 6 hours, but it's a very rewarding and very necessary 6 hours to put on the show that we want to bring audiences.
I think with anything, they just get better and they just keep evolving, the Rockettes, and that has been a big part of my job, is to try to keep things moving forward and to make sure that we are on brand, but that we keep moving the Rockettes forward choreographically, challenging them. They've become more athletic. I think they're smarter than ever. We have 84 Rockettes to teach the show to. I mean, many are returning and they will help the others, but it's still a big task to have that many people in one room really working on work that's very precise, and everybody has to keep their head in the game. I felt like when we got into a smaller group, we didn't feel as confident. Like there was more safety in all the numbers, right? I think we should do this group again. Shake it off. We're just here dancing. Ignore everything else that's going on in the room.
My greatest memory is actually dancing with them on the great stage at Radio City Music Hall when I did the Spring Spectacular. And it was a bucket list item for me. And actually at the end of the run, I gave them all t-shirts that said superhero, because that's exactly what they are. Nobody understands what these women do. They put themselves in buckets of ice in between shows because that's how hard they are working. So next time you see a show there, just remember, they are superheroes.
I remember moving to New York City, living on the Upper East Side, and having a friend that worked during the Christmas show at Radio City, had never seen the Christmas show. And when the Rockettes came on, I was amazed that there were women built with legs that long and how just precise they were. And it was like a reminder, okay, I'm in New York City. People here are serious, even about, this Christmas show. So the Rockettes really kind of set the stage for the type of discipline it takes to be a performer here. Happy 100th anniversary, Rockettes.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, how are you?
I didn't want you to miss out on the excitement. I also have an offer for you.
Thank you so much.
Spectacular.
Thank you for calling, and thank you for putting us both on the phone. We're absolutely in tears. Thank you so much. This means everything to us. I think it's amazing that we are sisters, a part of the Sisterhood. The legacy here is incredible. So many amazing women have walked through these doors, been on this stage, and to be a part of it is such an honor. But then to know the level of sisterhood that we have, and then to bring it to this amazing organization, I feel like the love has just spread even more, and everyone's welcomed us with open arms since we've joined and continued to share that love. So I think there's something special about being surrounded by such incredible women and sharing your dream with so many other people around you, but it's a different kind of level when you're with your sister. And now we have so many other sisters to share it with.
I used to think that it really isn't show business that I'm in, because the show business outside is a lot of cutthroat, They're like, backstabbing and stuff to get the part, and you gotta get this, and you gotta get... Here, it is a family. It is a sisterhood.
I am a firm believer that a group of dancers who loves working together will only bring the best product to the stage. And so I love to know that we're going to work really hard and we're going to be nice while we do it. It is about bringing the joy and bringing memories and making memories for families.
It's a sisterhood and a family that I will never forget. And we're still all friends that I've worked with. It's great.
Miranda was my dance teacher growing up. I started out as her student, she was my teacher, we had that relationship, and now to say that we are sisters on the line really is something that is so full circle and so magical. Not only are we able to go up to her if I have any questions, we have certain moments on stage where we give each other a wink, we give each other a little smile on stage, and it's kind of a very familiar face to see in a kind of unfamiliar environment. So not only is it special meeting all these new sisters, but having a new sister on the line as opposed to just being teacher-student is so full circle and so special.
The synchronicity of the Rockettes really speaks to us. It feels like an extension of us, and we could picture ourselves on that stage. So it's always been a shared dream, I would say. It never was a thought I wouldn't picture myself on that stage. I would picture the two of us on that stage. Our mom is proud to say she attended almost 20 shows last season. She will be there every week, and we stood on opposite sides of the line this year. So I was stage left and Courtney was stage right. So she made sure to alternate which side of the audience she sat so she could get the front row view right in front of each of us. She is the all-star, most amazing mom, mother of 6, and she is just all in on our dance career, and it makes us so happy. We always tell our parents that our dream came true because they believed in us first, and we always make sure to thank them for that.
We are going through some of the most challenging, physically demanding things that we do, and I think spending such joyous times like the holiday season together, we really do have to have each other's backs, quite literally. So I think being able to spend those very special moments together, it really bonds us in a way that's unlike anything else.
I remember coming to New York City when I was a little girl, and it was always a highlight to come and see the Rockettes. And today at my age, I want their figures.
I came to New York City in 1993, and one of the first sort of sightings that I had on the streets of New York was at FAO Schwartz, watching 4 or 5 Rockettes just stand there looking regal and beautiful. And I thought, oh, I'm in New York now. I'm actually in New York. I'm actually seeing the Rockettes just out in the world. It was the most amazing experience that a 19-year-old Chris Jackson could have in New York City.
To the Rockettes, happy 100th anniversary. You are amazing.
In 100 years, there's been so many things, and the Rockettes have been part of American culture in so many different ways. A lot of people don't realize the Rockettes actually predate the Christmas Spectacular. So when they started in 1925 in St. Louis, Missouri, they came here to New York, and then when Radio City was a movie palace, they performed before films. And they were one of the first entertainers to sign up for the USO in World War II. They also banded together to save Radio City Music Hall from demolition. As we're moving forward and as we're evolving is the full pipeline and the full life cycle of a dancer with us. And whether it's our community activations of teaching kids how to dance, or through our pre-professional or professional programs.
The Rockettes education programs are really ever evolving and unmatched. We had the really great experience of participating in the Rockette Conservatory before we got this job.
We have a dancer development program called the Conservatory, and it's an invite only, but it's all inclusive. So dancers who have come to the audition maybe don't get the job, but they get invited to this. And it's to really discover for a week. It's all inclusive. We pay for their housing, their meals. We go to a show, they get shoes to work in, because shoes are so expensive for dancers, and they are hard on their shoes, you know? They take a big beating. So we try to be very inclusive and welcome everybody into our program, because I think for some, they'll take away what they've learned and go to other jobs, and maybe it's not for them, but for others, they're like, I love this work and I can't wait to dig into it.
We always say that is the reason we have this job. The experience of getting to learn show choreography straight from Rockettes themselves is really special, and you can't get that anywhere else. And we learned so much from that experience, and I really feel like that is how the dancers get their jobs these days, and we're very lucky to have gone through that process.
The excitement of the 100th season it's just palpable. You can, there are so many legacy Rockettes, so Rockettes who have done the show in past years, who are all sort of like, I'm seeing dancers that I danced with back in 2009 that I haven't seen in 10 years. There's so much energy and excitement around this 100th anniversary, and it's just so special to be a part of it, and to know in the future I'll be able to say that I was there firsthand for the 100th anniversary of the Radio City Rockettes is like, it's so cool.
Well, I couldn't be more thrilled that I'm still working here. I mean, I never thought in a million years that would ever happen. And I'm so looking forward to seeing the people that I maybe directed out on the road when I was newly directing the show, and people I danced with 38 years ago on this stage, all of us coming together, and I think it's probably going to be a pretty emotional evening, and I hope I remember everybody's name, because I've known a lot of Rockettes, and I've seen so many Rockettes live out their dreams here or move on to other things, and I just can't wait to see everybody.
There are 2 things that are timeless with the Rockettes, and that is the kick lineup, which will never get dull. Everybody waits for it, and also the March of the Wooden Soldiers. And the domino fall is, this will never get old. It's a sisterhood that I think that's what makes it just keep going.
So honored to be a part of the 100th year anniversary of the Radio City Rockettes. I think being sisters, a part of the Sisterhood, is just such an honor, and it feels so special for us, and I'm so excited to see what comes. I think it's an honor as well to honor those who came before us and those who are coming in the future.
The entire reason why I'm here today is because of the Rockettes before me that inspired me to do this, to make this my dream. So because of those Rockettes, I'm here today. So now having the privilege to be that Rockette that hopefully inspires the next generation for hopefully another 100 years to come.
I remember the Rockettes' kick line would make my mom cry. And I thought that was so moving. And then, as an adult, I went to see them, and the Rockettes' kick line made me cry. So I guess it's in our genes to love when the Rockettes do that. It is an incredible feat. Happy 100th anniversary to you, Rockettes. You look great.